So I took all the parts out. You just saw me clean them off. That's a really important part where you have to clean off the evaporust from it. I was able to get all these parts here all cleaned off. You know, I don't know what this part is called. It's the back part that holds onto the blade. Yeah, I'll have to figure out the terms. But I got the chip guard all cleaned off. Again, I can see a lot of pitting, so I'm hoping when I go to wire brush it, I'll take a lot of that stuff off. There's still some. I had to leave this in here a little while longer. There was a chunk of rust right here, and I could see where it pitted it. The blade looks really good actually at the blade end. There's some garbage, of course, stuck to it, so I'll have to clean it off with some acetone or something. I'll put a nice new blade, new tip on it. The adjuster needs to be repainted, so I'm going to strip that and repaint it. And everything else looks good. I mean, it all needs a new good wire brushing. What I'm planning to do is use my 3-in-1 lathe here, which is also drill press, and I'm going to mount up my wire brush and wire brush it that way. So let's see if I can do that really quick and record that. The body of the planer had to go back in. It had 3 spots of rust on the flip side that I had flipped it on that was still there. So I put it back in there to get those little spots off because I didn't want to try to just wire brush them off because I'm afraid it's going to just stay on there. So yeah, so let me set that up and then move the camera. So I had to leave the sole of this long planer. Now, I'm curious now how long it is. It says it's a number 7 Bailey with some Stanley parts. I think Bailey and Stanley are the same thing. I'm learning all this right now. Yeah, this is a 22-incher. Yeah, they're not cheap, I found out. And this one was cracked, but I'll be able to save it. So I noticed this pitting here right about there. You guys can see it in the thing. And actually some of the rust came through it. So it looks like there's been some, you know, right about here where the Japaning's kind of thin. I'm debating right now whether to remove all the Japaning on this and then just spraying it. But I'm thinking not. I'm just gonna go behind here and use the multi tool disc grinder, and then bring it back. You can actually see where the Japaning got burnt off over here on this side. I may actually strip it all and then seal it and repaint it without Japaning on it. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, I'm gonna look at this a little more. I'll be back, guys, in a little bit. I'm gonna go do this off camera because this may take a little while. Yeah. Alright, so I finished putting it through the steel brush, and I have to say it looks amazing now compared to what it looked like when it was rusted. You can see that where it was fixed. I'm gonna sand some of that back down a little bit. But yeah, this part's done. I do want to get in here where the frog sits. There's some machine surfaces right here where the frog sits here, and where the blade and the rest of the frog sits down here. I want to get there and clean that up nice and good with some hand sanding. And then I'm also going to get in here with some needle files and clean up the where the blade rests right there. You can see my finger from the other side there. So that way I can get in there nice and deep. The Japanning has been chipping. It's thick in some areas and not so thick in others, so I'm debating right now. I think I'm just going to leave it as is. I do want to give each side a nice little sanding, just to square them up, take out some of the etching marks from the bath, but all in all, I think we're good here. I still have to wire brush the screws and stuff, so I'm going to do that by hand, and I'll just fast forward through that. So here we go. You can actually see how, let's see if I can get it to focus in there. You can see where it's nice and shiny, and then right here it's shiny, and then it gets a little corroded there. So let's get going at it. Alright, so that's all the parts that I could get to. I'm going to do the same thing I did to the earlier one, is go in here and clean up some of the edges on the screw. They're kind of rough on here. The camera will eventually focus on my hand because it's but it's junk. I'm thinking of cleaning all these up with hand files, and then potting them on the drill and poly dressing up. This one looks like crap. Let's see. So it's all messed up. So what I'm going to plan to do here is I want to see if I can machine it a little, give it a new life, make it look new. So we'll see. Yeah. Oh, next is the brass screws. These are pretty mangled up. Again, they're pretty mangled up. So you can see them here. Let's see, focus. You can see here they're pretty mangled up. So I'm going to mount them up and clean them up with some files. You'll see me doing that right now. I'm really happy with how it came out. Let's see if we can get it to focus. Focus, yeah, look at that. Nice and shiny now. This is going to look beautiful on it. Yeah, there's little dings in there, but, you know, it's okay. So, for reference, this is what it looks like before and after polishing. So you can see the difference in shyness there. Pretty cool, huh?